Client just got a Schengen visa, and these are the documents that he submitted and documents that you need to apply for a Schengen visa. My name is Tracy and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, I am a travel consultant. I run Visa Friend and I help people apply for visas, be it to the USA, to UK, to Canada, to the Schengen area, that is Europe. And today I'm going to be talking about all the documents that you need to have a successful Schengen visa application. And I see a lot of people make mistakes when it comes to Schengen visas. They tend to either ignore a particular document, or they tend to either act like a particular document is more relevant than the other. So I'm going to give you a breakdown and a list of all the documents that you need when you are applying for a Schengen visa. The first thing that you need when you're applying for a Schengen visa, you need to have an international passport. This international passport has to have up to 1 year validity. I usually tell people, to be on the safe side, your international passport can even have more than a year's validity when you want to apply for a Schengen visa. And the next thing you need to have is a passport photograph, and this passport photograph has to be a 35 by 45 mm passport photograph. Whenever you go to the photographer to take the passport, trust me, you can just tell them what you need, tell them that you're applying for a Schengen visa, and they will know the exact kind of passport to snap. You don't want to take just any passport and then when you get there on your document submission day or on your appointment day, you get there and the officials at the embassy or at the passport collection center will be like, okay, this particular passport cannot be used for this application. It's going to cost a lot of, you're going to be worried basically, and you don't want to go over and then go and have to snap another passport. So just make sure that when you are going to your embassy, whatever consulate for whatever country that you are going to, you have the correct passport size when you're going for your document submission. So another thing you need to have is your duly filled and signed Schengen visa application form. Schengen visa application form looks something like this, and it's just asking you basic questions: your name, date of birth, some other information, what country you'll be entering the Schengen area from, some other random questions. You need to fill them as accurately as you can, and you also need to sign when you're going to submit your documents. Another document that is very important: if you were invited by someone, you need to have an invitation letter from that person, and you need to have that person's details. There's a whole lot of details you need to get from that person, either where they stay, what they do, maybe their proof of residence in that particular country that you're going to. You also need to have all that when you're going to submit your documents. And the next documents that you need is travel insurance. Travel insurance is a non-negotiable. You need to have travel insurance for whatever country, whatever place where you're entering from Schengen area. You need travel insurance, and it should cover about 30,000 euros. I'm not saying you have to buy or pay 30,000 euros to get a Schengen travel insurance. I'm saying that your insurance should cover at least 30,000 euros worth of medical expenses and other issues. Basically, travel insurance are not usually very expensive. Let's say the highest maybe I've spent on one should be about something dollars or so. But you have to be careful when you are getting travel insurance, because not all travel insurance are acceptable by the embassy. So you have to make sure that whatever travel insurance you are getting is going to be acceptable by the embassy that you're using it for. And the next thing you need to have is employment information. So most people, when applying for Schengen visa, they fall into two categories. They're either business owners or they're employees. So you can either be a business owner or an employee. So let's talk about employees. If you're an employee in an organization, different type of documents that you can submit when you're applying for a Schengen visa. You can either submit your employment letter, or you can submit your confirmation of employment, or you can submit your leave letter, or you can submit proof from your company that you will be going on leave this particular time and they've granted you leave, or they know about your travel. And all these documents, make sure that they are stamped to show that it is genuine, basically. So make sure that all these documents that you get, they are stamped, and you can prove that this proves that they are genuine. And if you're a business owner, you need to get your business registration document. For most Nigerians, we usually have like a CSC document or other types of business registration documents. You need to provide your business documents. Whatever shows that you own a business in your country where you are applying from, you need to have that on hand. You need to submit that during your Schengen visa application. You also need to, maybe if you have tax returns from your business, that is also very, very good proof, that you can submit when you're applying for your Schengen visa. Then any other thing, maybe like your proof that you have maybe a physical store, maybe your store rent, or just anything basically that shows that you own your business, you can submit that. Some other documents that you need a travel itinerary, and this travel itinerary includes your hotel reservation and your flight itinerary. You don't need to book a flight ticket, but there are ways to go about getting a flight ticket reservation when you're applying for a Schengen visa. And if you need one, let me know. And also you need a hotel reservation. We have several places that you can get a hotel reservation from. It's not every platform that you should book a hotel reservation and use for your Schengen visa, but there are several places that you can book a hotel reservation and use for your Schengen visa application. But you need those two. You don't need to pay, like I say again, but you need to have those two. They are non-negotiables when applying for your Schengen visa, and it should be a round trip flight ticket. You should show that you'll be going to the Schengen area and you'll be returning back on a certain date according to all your documents, according to your forms. Then another thing that really, really helps people, I don't really think they focus on as much as they do, is landed properties. If you have landed properties, actually it's very, very good. It's a very, very strong tie. So if you're applying for a Schengen visa and you have landed properties, don't ignore them. Add them to your Schengen visa application when you're applying. And a major document that I feel like people sleep on and can really, really improve your chances of getting your Schengen visa is your cover letter. Your cover letter should contain so many details. You should explain who you are, you should explain what you do, you should explain your itinerary, that is all your plans, all the things that you plan to do during your stay in the Schengen area. You should also show your professional ties as well as your personal ties, and you should also carry a bit about yourself. The cover letter can also be used to explain maybe some discrepancies in finances, as another point I am coming to. Lastly, you need bank statements. Bank statements are one of the most important documents when applying for a Schengen visa. Without your bank statement, you cannot obviously apply for a Schengen visa. And the bank statement should not just be an anyhow bank statement. This bank statement should reflect that you can sponsor your trip to the Schengen area. It basically should have like the entire sum that you plan to spend on this trip and some more. When you are submitting a bank statement, you have to be very, very careful, because you don't want to get a bank statement that does not have previous history of, let's say, the certain amounts that's on your bank balance being there. Do you understand? Or previous history that can accumulate to the bank balance that is there. So for instance, now you have a bank statement that you have not used for, let's say, the last 6 months, or maybe the highest amount that has entered that bank that has entered the account in the last 6 months is maybe about 50,000 naira, or let's say $150 every month for the last 6 months. It has not passed that. It has not even gone upwards of that. And then you are applying for a visa, and then you are going to submit a bank statement, and the balance there is 2 million naira. How does that work? If you really think about it, how does that prove you are well and capable enough to sponsor your trip? It does not show consistency in your income. It does not show that you can afford it. It shows that you want to get money from somewhere and put it because you are applying for a visa. It's really straightforward, and when a visa officer sees that, they are not going to approve your visa. Okay, it can really cause problems for you. So when you are submitting your bank statement for your Schengen visa application, please use a bank account or a bank statement that really, really shows that you have consistent flow in your income, good history on your bank statement. And alongside this bank statement, you can also submit a letter from your bank. It shows more credibility when you're submitting the bank statement, a letter from your bank. And another thing you can add to this is your pay slips. If you don't have like pay slips, what you can do is, because I feel like some companies don't give pay slips and some do. But if your company gives pay slips, good for you. But if your company doesn't give pay slips, I would advise that you print the bank statement that shows all your monthly salary, that has flown into your bank account in the last 6 months or in the last 3 months. It shows more credibility for you. Also, last but not the least, when you're applying for a Schengen visa, make sure that don't submit fake documents. Okay, fake documents can cause problems for you when you're applying for any visa. Actually, submitting fake documents or submitting forged documents can lead to issues for you. So make sure that you have all documents that are listed. They are non-negotiables. Any other thing that you have, maybe if you're applying for with children, or maybe you have children, you can submit their birth certificates. Maybe if you have a spouse, maybe if you're traveling alone, you can submit your marriage certificates. All those are extras. Do you understand? But all these documents that are listed, they are non-negotiables and they should be arranged accordingly. So if you have any questions or comments, or you have any additions, because I'm always looking to learn, because there are some things that some people may have submitted that aided in them getting their Schengen visa that I don't even know about. I'm a travel consultant. Why? There's a lot that I still want to learn about. So if you have anything else maybe that helped you get your own Schengen visa, please drop it in the comment below. If you've been watching up till this point, please hit the subscribe button. If you have any questions, any comments, drop it in the comment below. If you want to speak to me one-on-one, you can always go to my bio and book a consultation, or send me a DM on Instagram. My username is visa.friend, and follow me on all my social media platforms. And if you're interested in more travel information, anything, hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.